Hey everyone, I'm super excited to talk about my impressions of the X100VI. As you all know, there's so much hype behind it, right on the popularity of the X100V, the previous model, impossible to find in stock or at a reasonable price in the used market. I think overall that it's great that Fuji is gaining so much exposure as a camera brand with the X100V model. Thank you social media for that, and also getting scalpers to scalp up the prices for a used model. Like the retail price for Canadian dollars is about $17.99, and I've been seeing so many priced at $2,000 or more, which is honestly ridiculous. Fuji announced the X100VI for the price of $24.50 including tax. I might as well just spend that amount of money on a new model than just looking for a used one. If you're in the market for a travel camera to take with you, the X100 series, or namely the X100VI that I will be talking about, may not be the right fit for you or everyone. The X100VI comes with a new X-Trans 5 processor and the 40 megapixel sensor that's inherited from the XT5 and XH2. It also comes with 5-axis IBIS up to 6 stops, which is like a new addition for the 100VI. It uses the same fixed 23mm f2 lens, not anything different from the previous model, but I think I've heard that they did make some slight changes for it to be able to resolve the 40 megapixels, but I'm not sure if that's confirmed or just internet talk. The overall designs are almost identical to each other with small little changes. It is a little heavier because of the inclusion of IBIS now, and the fact that it's still not fully weather sealed, which is silly in my opinion, not to weather seal the lens, but everything is, which is like a huge miss in my opinion. But yeah, so if you want to fully weather seal your new X100VI, you just have to buy a third party or a Fuji ring adapter and hood to make it fully weather sealed. Another thing also is that it uses the same small batteries as the previous model, which is a letdown in my opinion. I was hoping they would upgrade to the NPW235 batteries that are being used across most of Fuji's modern mirrorless cameras, like the XT5, XT4, XH2, XH2S, and even their GFX lines. So with that being said, that really means that you'll likely need to pack an extra battery or two if you're out and about capturing photos or video for the entire day. X100VI greatly benefits in the video department, including the new f-log 2, and now you're able to shoot 6.2K 30 frames and 4K 60 frames cropped at 4:2 to 10-bit. One last new addition that's worth mentioning is that the X100VI has the Reala Ace film simulation, which is crazy because it was previously only available on the GFX 100 Mark II. Even greater news is that Fuji has confirmed that the XT5 XH2 will have Reala Ace VI firmware updates. So I'm pretty excited to see how that's going to look like on those cameras. So comparing the 6 to my other cameras in terms of the weight and size, no doubt the X100VI is the smallest compact camera for travel. My only gripe with it is that the grip is almost non-existent. I would definitely recommend buying a third-party grip accessory for it. The lens does make a little noise when it focuses, but not anything too noticeable if you're out in the streets. I do like the option to be able to switch between optical viewfinder and the EVF. The LCD screen isn't too bad either. It's bright enough to see on a bright sunny day. This footage here is taken using the Reala Ace film simulation at 4K HQ 29.99 frames per second. No edits or anything were done on this footage straight out of the camera. And I think it's great. What really helped was to keep the exposure looking right is using the built-in ND filter. I think that covers about +4 stops. And honestly, it looks really good. I was able to keep my ISO, my shutter speed down to match with the frame rate that I was shooting at. So this footage here is shot at 4K H2, 30 frames per second, f/log2. Rating this footage is identical to the XT5 and XH2, so no issues there of me color correcting and adding some little like processing in my footage. So I think overall my impressions has been really positive, but does the almost 2500 price tag justify owning the X100VI? In my opinion, absolutely not. Despite my overall positive experience with it, it offers very little with that kind of price. Here are some like negatives I have of it. One SD card, very short battery life. You would need to pack at least 1 or 2 extra batteries for an entire day of shooting, like photos and video. The camera, again, I think I mentioned this earlier, the camera isn't fully weather sealed. I think it's very silly that you have to spend an extra $60–80 for an adapter and a hood for the lens to be fully weather sealed. Like, I mean, for the kind of price tag that you're paying for, you would think that a camera should be fully weather sealed. Price jump from $17.99 to $2,500. I mean, that's a little much, honestly. Another thing too is that if you already have a bunch of Fuji lens, lying around, you can go out and buy a brand new XT5 for $60 more, brand new. Or better yet, you can buy like a used one for under $2,000, right? And the benefit of going with that is that bigger batteries, better grip, 2 SD cards and more. And not to mention the Reala Ace film simulation is confirmed to arrive via IBIS firmware updates also to all of Fuji's modern mirrorless cameras. So it's really hard for me to justify that if you need a travel camera, please go out and buy this camera. But unfortunately, I don't think I could really recommend that, just purely for some limitation and the lack of features for that kind of price. And I know that the X100 series is just meant for a niche market of customers, which I totally get. If you just look past like the TikTok hype behind this camera and everything else that comes of it, look from an objective point of view, I don't think it's worth the price tag. But now, if Fuji was willing to decrease the retail price by a couple $100, then yeah, maybe I would be more enticed to recommend people getting it. But honestly though, it's no bueno for me. But I will say though, if you want that TikTok status symbol, go right ahead and get the X100VI.